In today's episode, we'll be talking about the difference between being a professional and a business specialist. Stay tuned if you'd like to find out why is it so difficult to build a scalable business while being a professional and what can be done about it. So before we make a deep dive into this subject, I would like to go back to my experiences as a child. So both my parents are doctors and I remember them traveling the world. The reason why they were doing it is because they were attending various seminars, various gatherings, various training courses run by various institutions and hospitals. And that is because it was the thing that had to be done in order to maintain your qualifications and be the professional that you want to be. So not only does it take so many years for a doctor to become a doctor and then a specialist in his or her field, but that education never stops. And obviously it doesn't matter what kind of professional you are, it could be any other field. It's not that you can learn a skill and then that's it. That skill will last for a lifetime. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, our world is constantly changing, and so is every sector and every profession. And in order to stay on top, be the best you can be as that professional, you basically have to learn. That could be by either attending seminars, it could be webinars, it could be reading books. And again, going to my parents, I remember them reading books. There was this specific situation where I asked my dad, Dad, why are you reading this book? And he was clearly reading a book about how the inner ear is built, and he was looking for something very specific. So I asked him, why are you doing it? And because, I assumed that you know everything. And he said, well, you see, tomorrow I'm going to be operating a patient with this very unique sort of thing, and I just need to sort of brush my skills and remember what the fine details are. So obviously the devil's in the details, and even a professional like my dad, who was very good at what he did as an ENT specialist, he still had to go back to the books to remind himself of a very specific detail. Now, as per the intro, why would this be an obstacle for business growth? Well, most probably as a professional in one area, if you decide to start a business, whether it is your idea or some peer pressure, maybe family pressure, regardless of where that came from, if you start a business in your area, then unfortunately you are spreading yourself thin. As a professional, you turned up to work, you do what is expected from you as that professional. So let's say if you are a vet, you turn up to work, you do your thing as the vet, you look after your patients, you talk to the owners, you do some admin, you do some prescription writing, but it all revolves around being a professional vet. Now, if you run a veterinary clinic and you are also a vet in that clinic, well, then you've got not two jobs, but dozens of jobs, because as we know, the business owner's job is it's like a bag of dozens of other jobs. So now you're not only the vet, but you're also the chief marketeer, the chief salesperson, the chief receptionist, the chief invoice raiser. You're in charge of finances. You're in charge of basically every aspect of running that business. The premises, all the taxes that need to be paid, recruiting people. There are just so many aspects of running a business. And as we know, running a business is a whole range of skills that you also need to possess. Now, those skills don't come out of nowhere. It is a result of education. So as you can see now, we've used the word education twice, because you have to keep your professional standards through education, and you need to educate yourself as a business specialist. So what my point is that at some point in your journey, you will have to make a decision. Do you want to be a professional in a specific subject, or do you want to be a professional business owner? And the choice is yours. It's not me or anyone else to decide for you. You really have to dig deep into your soul and think, what is it that will give you the ultimate joy? What is it that will drag you out of bed? What is the thing that you will keep you energized, and it's something you'll be looking forward to? You'll be waiting for the weekend to end. You can't be waiting to jump into it on Monday morning. And if that is being the professional, that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong in it. Moreover, if you are very good, and presuming you sacrifice the rest of your life in being a good professional, you will earn very good money. So it's not that you are trading your passion for money. You'll still make very good money. But the difference is that you will have a much easier time. You will be doing what you've been trained to do, i.e. looking after your patients or whatever the profession is. On the other hand, with a business, well, it's like a swamp. There are so many things that can go wrong, but on the other hand, business can be beautiful. And I would say that business is like a double-sided sword. It can be beautiful, but it can also have a very, very nasty side. And if you want to be on the beautiful side, you really have to focus your time and attention on being a specialist business owner. And that doesn't come out of nowhere. That really requires dedication, and it is simply impossible to do both at the same level. You can't attend the same amount of seminars, one to do with your profession and the other to do with business, because they both take time. And knowing life, they probably happen at the same weekend. So even if you're able to attend one seminar and then you go to another one, that means that instead of perfecting your skills on the job at hand, you are now going to another seminar about how to grow your business or how to market your business, how to use social media, and so on. So effectively, anyone else that's attended the professional seminar with you, but is now going back into work and actually applying it, they will be better off in the long run than you when you're trying to spread yourself too thin. So the whole idea, and I hope this is like the most important point you get out of this episode, is that you will have to make a decision which way you want to go. My dad was confronted with that decision. He chose that he prefers operating on patients. He was being promoted to various other admin roles as sort of the head of a wing in the hospital, but he backtracked from that because he wanted to be in charge of the patients. He was then very successful in a private clinic, but he was still very hands-on. Sunday morning, 6 a.m. starts because there was a surgery or someone bleeding, but that was his life, that was his passion. On the contrary, if he decided he wants to go into business, I'm pretty sure he would have had like a range of different clinics scattered around the world because he's very good at what he does. Me, for instance, my decision was different. Instead of being a specialist design engineer or any other professional related to engineering, I chose to become a business specialist. To me, this is kind of a no-brainer. I just love business. I love all the aspects of running the business. I take pride in the complexity of getting all the moving parts of a business together so that they do result in a well-oiled machine, a thriving component made out of various parts that just keeps huffing and puffing and producing a consistent result. So I chose that route, and indeed I also travel the world. I attend various seminars, I listen into webinars, I read books, I listen to podcasts, and I obviously share this knowledge also with you. So this shows that I've made a decision sometime in the past, which means I don't have time to perfect my engineering skills. And actually, I'm kind of forgetting them, they're fading away, but that's fine because it was a strategic decision, a very conscious decision to focus on becoming a business specialist. So when you think about being this business specialist, you have to almost treat it like a profession. The difference is that the profession or the area of focus is how to not only start a business, but how to grow it, how to make it almost into a corporation. Because at one stage, if you want to continue the growth of your business, you will eventually reach a point where you are in a position to set up a new location or acquire your competitors or talk to a finance company and hoover up all of your competitors in a specific geographical area. So there are a lot of other possibilities as a business owner, and well, they are probably more financially rewarding, but also more stressful. So the decision is yours, and when making this decision or when confronted with it, don't try and think about what others will say or how it will be perceived by others. Just focus on your inner self, on what truly matters to you, and only by listening to yourself, make that decision. Obviously, it's not a decision that you confronted once in a lifetime and that's it. Like, you can first decide that you are going to stick with your profession for another 3-4 years and indeed just focus your attention on that. And then when the right time comes, when you feel comfortable, you can then move on to the other avenue, onto becoming a business specialist. But once you make that move, you then have to dedicate your whole energy and concentration on being the best business specialist you can be. So I hope you found this episode interesting. It's a very small decision point in life, but it's very, very important, and the consequences are massive. If you do the right thing and focus your attention on being the business specialist, you will really outperform your competitors and you'll really make it big. And that is what I wish you.